Welcome back, everybody. My name is Beyond Sadistic, and with me in for round number 2 is Prez BOTW, and this is our November Invitational, third quarter Invitational, actually, is for the MTGPL. Prez, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Things have been going well. I'm glad to be back in the booth here commentating again.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
going to be a great time, and I'm not going to lie, for those of you who listened to the podcast before this came out, you all know how high I was on at least the deck that Pain Cow is playing today. I wanted to see this thing do some work, so let's see how this goes. This is going to be super interesting, although Dalibor is definitely, if anyone can get through this pile that Pain Cow brought, it'll definitely be Dalibor, so...
Yeah, I agree. And just for those of you guys that are new here, this is a round number 2. Round number 1, we had some amazing matches. But for round number 2, this Pain Cow list is the grossest deck I think I've ever seen sleeved up in my life.
It's hideous.
It like we were in between matches. I just want to, like, who hurt you, Pain Cow? Who hurt you? Like, Metalworker and Mox Diamonds, Chalice of the Voids, 4 Karn the Great Creators, 3 Ensnaring Bridges, 4 Tangle Wires, 4 Trinispheres, 3 Smokestacks, plus you've got your Crucibles to be able to go get your 4 of Urza Sagas back from your graveyard. I don't even know what to say.
This is also a 4x Wasteland deck too, with 3 Crucibles.
Yes. You've got your Pithing Needles, Relic of Progenitus, Retrofitter Foundries, your Shadow Spheres to be able to go and get off of your Urza Sagas. And then the board, the Karn Wish board is the grossest things, plus a Tabernacle. Who hurt you? Who hurt you?
I am so excited to see this go down.
This deck is just insane. And then, but there is a saving grace. Up against Pain Cow is Dalibor with Abzan Reclaimer. Prez, talk to us about this Abzan Reclaimer list.
So Dalibor's been crushing a lot of these tournaments on this Abzan Reclaimer list. Very, very proficient with the deck. And, you know, it's very, very just lean, low to the ground. You know, it's got the Urza Saga package in it, although little, as it's only one of Urza Saga. But it kind of plays like a Depths Maverick list.
Yes.
In that it has a lot of the Maverick cards within it, such as Scrib Ranger, the main deck removal. I actually am a huge fan of Abrupt Decay still. Even though I know that card has largely fallen out of favor, I still think Abrupt Decay is very powerful, and I think it will be good here, because its ability to hit Trinisphere at instant speed, or Tangle Wire, or whatever else, I think will just be very good, especially because that you cannot stop it with a Chalice of the Void on 2.
It can also hit a Retrofitter Foundry, which is one of Pain Cow's ways to be able to generate threats, to be able to get through the grossness that is all of the stacks in this deck.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think Abrupt Decay is literally one of the best removal cards that Dalibor could have in their deck. I also am a huge fan. This is also an Urza Saga list, so it does have the one of Shadow Spear, Pithing Needle, Soul Guide Lantern. I'm a huge fan of Green White Depths, but I love Dark Maverick. This Abzan Reclaimer list is very, very cool to me. It's one of those decks that I've always loved to see, because it's the best of both worlds, doing everything that that you really want to be doing. So it's very, very cool that it's a one of Depths list. It's a one of Field of the Dead list. It's very, very fast with Flagstones and Trocare. It wants to be tutoring that out and sacrificing that as quickly as possible to be able to churn through and ramp themselves. But it's a very, very kick-ass deck.
Yeah, and to me, this is more in the lines of like old 4-color loam style thing, where it's trying to have all these different packages come together and then kind of just make them all mesh. Because this is a little bit of Maverick, unlike what we saw last round with Hovercraft, a little bit of Depths, and then, but it still has the good old Knight of the Reliquary lands in your graveyard package, and it plays it to great effect.
Yeah, and that's just it. Knight of the Reliquary has always been one of the most powerful things that Maverick has been able to do. Just being able to make very, very big threats very quickly, while still being able to engage your game plan, as to say, basically, has always been very, very strong. And this Absent Reclaimer list is very much the best of everything, and does it very well. Reclaimer and Knight of the Reliquary with Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, and being able to sacrifice your flagstones and ramp yourself very, very quickly is super fast and very powerful.
Yeah. Also, Scrib Ranger with Yavimaya being able to return Urza Saga to your hand to untap a creature, really dope.
Yes, that is very, very gross. I agree. You get your sacrifice trigger on the stack. You return it back to your hand. I mean,
Yeah.
It's
That
got
being said,
tons and tons
though,
of tricks.
I guarantee you the constructs that Dalibor makes will not be anywhere near as impressive as what Pain Cow makes, because everything in his deck makes those constructs bigger.
Yes, 100% colorless. And let's go back to that really quick because Oliver brings up a very good point. The God's Eye Gate to the Rekka is a very, very, very crazy card to be in this main deck as well. The Inventor Fairs, being able to tutor for whatever you'd like to. Drownyard Temple, being able to sacrifice that and return it back. It's got so many different plays here. It's honestly a very, very gross.
Yeah. I also, even though it sounds stupid, I actually really like the synergy between Smokestack and Ensnaring Bridge, how you can actually keep a lot of these gigantic threats off of Dalibor being able to attack you. Like, say he's got an 8/8 Knight or something like that. You can just sit behind an Ensnaring Bridge and then, oh, my Smokestack ticked up. Okay, I'll kill the thing, attack for 40 with my 10 constructs.
Right, and that's just it. This deck makes constructs like nobody's business. It makes constructs like Thopters.
Yeah.
I mean, Retrofitter Foundry being here plus Urza Saga, you're pumping out constructs like it's nobody's business.
Oh yeah. So
It's
this
very,
is going to be
very-
a sweet match. So we'll go see what's going on there. It looks like they're just about done resolving mulligans.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, both players were going down to 6. Yeah, definitely here. Both are keeping on 6. So yeah, we're ready to rock and roll. Let's do it. Let's get some magic going. And Prez, it's been so long since you and I have been able to commentate together. I'm super excited for this.
yeah, good
I
to see
start,
you in the booth again.
Bouncing up and down with excitement, just don't mind me.
Yeah.
So Dalibor's going to lead us off here.
Yes, Dalibor is the higher seed here. Of note, for this round, a lot of the players are on a bye last round. So Pain Cow and Dalibor both had a bye last round. Dalibor had it because he is top seed in this case, and Pain Cow also had it due to a scheduling issue. But either way, both players had a bye round 1, so this is their first match of the day.
Yep, so they're going to have to get the jitters out as well. Dalibor leads with a Wasteland. Inventor's Fair drop for Pain Cow, both colorless. Here we go.
Of note, these Wastelands out of Dalibor's deck are also going to be hot. There's no basic lands in Pain Cow's deck.
No. And every single land in this deck that Pain Cow has are bangers. The only thing you don't want to be hitting here is a Drownyard Temple. However, everything else is legitimately a banger.
Yeah.
Well, and you don't really want to hit God's Eye with one, but...
No.
Please don't. Please don't.
Value.
Yeah, no shit. Yes, thank you. I will take my free creature.
Yeah. Dalibor deep in the tank here, it looks like.
Absolutely. I think there are so many different sequencing plays. Like we talked earlier, these decks are all open deck lists. So they know exactly what their opponent has, what grossness that Pain Cow, thought up over the past couple of weeks, just mulling over how can I punish every single person that I play against in the maximum amount of way.
So it looks like Dalibor was tanking hard enough and just decided on wastelanding the Inventor Store, which I actually think is okay.
I agree. You want to get rid of that as quickly as possible. Drops the scrub. And there's a Pithy Needle.
Ooh.
What do you name?
So for right now, I actually think I would probably name Urza Saga here, to be totally honest. You know
Just
that there's 4 of them. Or you could name Karn the Great Creator. I think those ones would be safe. Otherwise, the only other real activated abilities might be Shadow Spear or Mox Diamond. But that would be about it, because Smokestack, Tanglewire, Trinisphere, and Steering Bridge, none of them have activated abilities.
Wasteland. Literally cuts him off Wasteland. Good. That very well could be a very, very heads-up play on Dalibor's side.
Yeah, I actually quite like that. It does turn off Dalibor's own Wastelands.
However...
Might not be a problem, though. There's only 2 in Dalibor's list, and we know that there's 4 in Pain Cow's list.
Yeah, there comes an Urza Saga's going to drop. Dalibor before that drops the Savannah, passes Churn. That was in response to an Ancient Tomb pass Churn. And this is 3 mana right now.
What piece are we going to get? That
is a Crucible immediately, which means next turn we're going to be playing Inventor's Fair from the Graveyards here.
Yeah. Oh, Mel. Well, thank you for joining us today. Yes, Mia did come by for a little visit.
Yes. Is this going to be Knight of the Reliquary?
Okay.
So Dalibor's got a nice early enough threat.
Yeah. So here we go. The constructs are now going to start coming out. Because again, unlike... Like, I play Urza Saga and Painter. There's a lot of cases where making a construct is just wrong. Because that you trying to advance your combo is the correct way to proceed. In this case, with this deck, unless you're deploying a stacks piece, you absolutely just make constructs all the time.
As fast as you can on every opportunity. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Urza Saga going up does play the Inventors from Graveyard, which is basically just absolutely gives your opponent no information on what's in your hand.
Yeah.
Is going to make a construct here.
I think so, or is this a stacks piece?
No,
Oh,
that's
three ball. Oh, excellent.
So Trinisphere here is just another lock piece.
Yeah.
As yeah, this is just going to become more and more taxing on Dalabor's side. Dalibor, however, is going to be able to ramp here. There's a Dark Depths.
Oh, okay. We need a bridge fast.
Wow. Yes, absolutely, we do.
We need a bridge very quickly. And of note,
yeah, there is one on the board.
Abrupt Decays is very good versus those bridges. Also, one thing I just want to stress, there is not a single copy of Prismatic Ending in Dalabor's entire 75.
Correct. Which is
Floats a colorless, does not make any constructs at all. Huh, interesting. Again, though, if you're deploying the stacks pieces, I absolutely think that is totally fine.
Yep.
Oh, and this is the other thing that's interesting, too, is that Pain Cow can just go grab a pithing needle here and name Thespian Stage.
Yes. So he has to do it right now.
Yeah. Sneaky. Which, this is also interesting, because this leaves the pithing needle back in Pain Cow's deck now, unless they specifically want it for something else.
So, I think you go and get Retrofitter Foundry now, correct?
I think you probably would get Foundry here. I don't think you have enough mana to start turning out flyers yet.
No. But that gives you a way to at least block.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually can't.
Yeah.
You don't have enough mana.
Yeah, the thing is that we still need to actually get the 3-ball in order to survive this, which is the issue.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree.
I don't know if Pain Cow has it in hand. I think if you do have the Ensnaring Bridge, you absolutely grab a Retrofitter Foundry here, because that at least allows you to start going through the bridge. Like, yeah, you'll have to deal with the Knight here as a 5/5, but you're not going to have to deal with this Merit Lage ever until this bridge gets answered. Yeah. That being said, you still need to protect it, though, because one Ensnaring Bridge or one Abrupt Decay and you're dead.
Very, very true. So that, yeah, there comes the Retrofitter Foundry.
Yeah. And of note here, too, with the Savannah and Scrubland, Dalibor has the mana online. If it's even just float a mana, grab another land with the Knight of the Reliquary, then just Abrupt Decay, crash for 20.
And it also has protection up as well, if need be.
Replay Saga from the graveyard. Oh my
God. Gross. That's just really gross. And your Knight of the Reliquary too is also got 3 lands in the graveyard, so it's already super big.
Yeah.
So
and our table spotter for this round, Dr. Leo, also pointing out Saga plus Crucible of Worlds is hot.
Yeah. So just being able to go and be able to make your Knight of the Reliquary big, plus have your Merit Lage, your Pain Cow really has to have something happen now. Otherwise, and that's going to be the big scoop. That's
that is a big scoop there, unfortunately.
No way to stop the Merit Lage.
No.
That you really, in Pain Cow's deck, not really a good way to stay ahead of the curve either. You can't really gain any life, and you are taxing your life a lot by casting your spells with this mana base.
Yeah, exactly. And this is it. The Ancient Tomb is not the greatest in that case for the long term, but that is exactly still what we're looking for. You know, Pain Cow still managed to find a bunch of those different stacks pieces, just needed to get them to line up properly, which didn't end up happening for this game 1. But
yeah, so let's take a look at Pain Cow's sideboard. You guys can follow along with us. Cardboard Live is activated. Pain Cow's list is a Karn Wish board, so it does have a one of Tabernacle, a Tormod's Crypt, a Relic of Progenitus, a Damping Sphere, a Liquid Metal Coating, a Sorcerer's Spyglass, a Crucible, another Ensnaring Bridge, 2 Fairy Macabre, 4 Lodestone Golem, and 1 Mycosynth Lattice. Prez, what do you see Pain Cow bringing in, if anything, here?
I very realistically could actually just see the 4 Lodestone Golems coming in. They are a very fast clock, and they tax everything in Dalibor's deck, which could be very relevant.
Yep, I 100% agree on that. And I think that's probably the only thing. I think I leave the Tabernacle there.
Yeah,
I don't think I don't think it does enough against your opponent when you really want to stop them from having multiple threats instead of one or two very good ones. The
yeah,
Lodestone Golems will do a lot.
yeah. And everything else here, I think I'd just leave in. Maybe you board in 3 Lodestone Golems so you can Karn Wish for the 4th, but
That makes
I,
sense.
I would
Yeah,
still bring in the Lodestone Golems here, and then I'm not exactly sure what else I would bring in. I'd probably want to leave everything else in for the Karn Wish board. Yeah, Melfi, I could see Spyglass being good, and Doc, I absolutely agree. Tangle Wire is just disgusting in this matchup. Just Pink Cow actually needs to get it.
the only downside is the only way to get Sorcerer Spyglass, you can't get it off of Urza Saga.
No.
So you would have to. I mean, if you bring it in, you can't Karn for it.
Yeah, and I think that is actually a relevant point there. Having 4 main deck Karns, you have your maximum chance of actually finding one.
Yes, I agree. Whereas if it's buried in your deck, that would be such a feel bad if you
Yeah.
brought it in and then you were able to land a Karn and you can't go get it. I think that would be pretty frustrating.
Yeah,
You
so
can get enough Inventors Fair though.
you can, yeah. And the thing is that the Pithing Needle you want to be able to get with Urza Saga, I think the Spyglass is safe to wish for.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
I could be wrong.
I agree. Yeah, same.
Dalabor's sideboard here, what we got is we got 3 copies of Ethersworn Canonist, terrible in this matchup. I don't think they'll be coming in. A Collector Oof, 2 copies of Choke, 2 Endurance, 3 Plague Engineer. Which is that card again? Outland Liberator, which is a new card from Midnight Hunt, which is actually really sweet and I like a lot. 2 Force of Vigor, absolute slam dunk, and a Kaya Orzhov U Super. What do you think you like here, Corey?
Well, 100% the Outland Liberator is coming in.
Yep.
I think that's fantastic. I think the Force of Vigors are just an absolute slam dunk here. I kind of like the Kaya.
Actually
Collector Oof is a must. Kaya is a maybe, but Collector Oof, Outland Liberator, Force of Vigors are a must.
Yeah. Collector Oof, hilariously, this being a mono artifact deck, Collector Oof is probably at its weakest here, given that it literally only turns off
well, everything's
Metal
triggered
Worker
abilities.
And Retrofitter Foundry and Mox Diamond, and then that's it.
Yeah.
everything else are static abilities.
Everything else is static or triggered, I agree.
Yeah.
Shadow Spear can't be activated. So
That's
another
true.
thing.
But even then, those are some kind of corner cases there. But it looks like players are off here. Pink Cow on the draw or on the play for game 2, Dalibor is keeping 7. Pink Cow kept 6.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is true, Oliver. That it does prevent Pink Cow from just going Karn Lattice kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what does Pink Cow play in their City of Traders? We'll get this deck list off screen here shortly.
Yep. It looks
and oh, Crucible already. Oh goodness.
Wow. Damn, man, that came down fast.
Yeah. Of note here as well, that token with the dice on it is Dalabor's cards in hand. Yeah.
Very well on them to doing that for us. Looks like a Verdant Catacombs.
Yeah, it's always handy whenever you have some of this stuff. It's nice to just have it as a dice so that way your opponent's not asking cards in hand every turn.
Although a lot of times it's basically a really good use of time too. Asking for cards in hand. It's especially if you're really, really deep in the tank, it gives you that ability to a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah, I am a big fan of using the absolutely gigantic D6 for this.
Yep, and then I use the smallest possible clear with white so that way people can barely see it.
There you go.
I'm just kidding.
Troll. Ooh, Yavimaya is actually interesting here. That actually allows the colorless lands to produce 1 in the event that they needed to, or Ancient Tomb to tap for 1 mana without damaging yourself.
Which is kind of an unfortunate side effect here. However, I think in Dalabor's plan, that's probably going to work out best. But we do see the new Liberator here. Outland Liberator, Outland Liberator is a fantastic card, let's be honest.
So for people who don't know, Outland Liberator is basically like Thrashing Brontodon. It's a 2-mana 2/2. Has the same static text of 1, sacrifice it, destroy target artifact or enchantment with Daybound. And then if it flips over and becomes Nightbound, it has the exact same text, except it also reads whenever this creature attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls, which is gross. So on the flip side, it's a Paulus Crusher, plus it is Thrashing Brontodon ability.
Yes. That's a seriously good card. Plus now we have to keep track of the day and night cycles as well. So it is day right now.
Okay, so we're going to get a Trinisphere into a Saga.
Yep.
Oh man, Crucible just allowing you to replay that city, so good.
I agree. I agree. Crucible of Worlds is honestly one of the best cards in Pinkow's deck. I will be totally honest. Mana bases like this, being able to City of Traders, being able to take as a cost to be able to have to sacrifice it, sometimes can be pretty detrimental. Just the fact that Crucible allows Pinkau to replay Urza Saga's Wastelands, City of Traders, Inventor Fairs. I mean, your tutor package is very, very vast because of that. Plus replaying your God's Eyes.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, very, very good card. Gonna attack in with the 2/2, it looks like.
Not casting any spells, passing turn. So this is gonna transform here tonight.
Yep.
And also, not only that, playing the Wasteland is really huge for Dalibor there.
Yep, I do agree.
And so this is going to flip over, and this is really bad for Pinkau now.
Now, this is going to be every single turn that this Liberator attacks, it's going to get that effect.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a 3/3 now.
Of note here, the Trinisphere actually being really, really bad for Pinkau.
Yes.
Because it's going to be extremely hard to flip this thing back over to day. So it's just going to attack and destroy something every turn.
Malfi is 100%
actually
correct.
wonder,
he has to kill it now.
Yeah, I actually wonder if Dalibor will literally try and not kill the Trinisphere because it'll leave the thing flipped on night longer.
I mean, absolutely. You want to take the Crucible first.
Oh, for sure. You absolutely take the Crucible. Or you could actually hit the Urza Saga if you wanted to, because it's an enchantment.
Oh, that is true also. That is absolutely true. Wow, Pinkau's in actually a really bad spot here. This frenzied trap breaker is pretty much his worst nightmare.
Yeah. This is super interesting though at the same time. Yeah, I kind of agree, Malfi. I think you need the Tangle Wire like now.
Now.
Right now.
Like right now. Yes. Oh no, I don't.
Dalibor stopping in draw step. What's happening here? Casting endurance? Oh, this is just a super fast clock.
Yes.
Oh.
Goodbye.
Oh, hits the City of Traders.
You cannot replay it now.
Heads up.
Yeah, that's huge.
That is incredible.
And with it being on their turn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is so phase. Bad. If Pinkau doesn't really have another land to follow up, this might be lights out already. Oh my goodness. Ooh, you can see Pinkau's deep in the tank now. Oh. Rugger, the Frenzied Trapper flipped during combat or after combat, so it didn't destroy anything with the attack yet.
Yeah, night and day phases happens at the end of turn.
Yeah. And so we did get it. We did get it.
Plays another Urza Saga. And there's the Tangle Wire.
Yeah.
However, still having the body is a big deal too.
Yeah, that is true. That being said, though, I think the Tangle Wire having free taps in Tangle Wire and Crucible of Worlds is not as bad for Pinkau. Of note, though, you don't want to be tapping the Trinisphere because Trinisphere stops working as soon as it's tapped. So
let's give you a really quick rundown here. In round 2, it's Kara versus Quirios, which Kara's up a game. Frosty versus Tensai, which is Sneak and Show and Mono Black Control. Frosty they're still tied at 1-1. Pinkau versus Dalibor, which is watching, and ours, the letter versus Rax. So Enchantress versus Sneak and Show. Sneak and Show already took it 2-0. So
versus Enchantress?
Yes.
Oh wow. Oof. That was very quick.
Did I read that right? Yeah, Rax just took it 2-0. So Sneak and Show just powering over Enchantress here.
Yeah, exactly. So with Enchantress showing very well last game, though, so that was super fun to watch.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
So Urza Saga on Dalibor's side.
Yeah, and yeah, attacking with the Frenzied Trapper here. I think you hit the Crucible here, or do you think you hit the one of the Sagas?
I think you hit the. Do you hit the Tangle Wire?
I guess you just replay. I actually kind of don't mind the Tangle Wire to an extent because at this point, when you're tapping everything down, it's stopping both players from casting spells, especially with the Trinisphere, because Tangle Wire and Trinisphere in combo Make it so as that way the Frenzied Trapper is just never gonna flip.
I think hitting the Urza Saga here is really smart because you're going to have to play it now, and it's going to be down, so they can't actually make a threat.
Yeah. Taps the 3-ball. Okay, so I wonder if Pain Cow's gonna try and actually cast spells to flip this Trapper over.
Well, now's the chance, right? Has to be able
Yeah.
to play, or so either plays a
Yeah.
City of Traders
Ooh.
or replays.
Good call here. Remembering to gain the 1 life off Inventor's Fair.
Oh, yes, yes. That is actually heads up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think that was done last turn. Although they didn't have enough artifacts. Isn't it 3?
Yeah, it's 3 or more artifacts, yeah. And
Okay,
also
so-
Malfi, no, it as soon as it becomes tapped, it stops working
Yes.
for Trinisphere. Yeah. So the shields are down.
It's one of those older cards that's actually worded as such.
Yeah.
So wow, actually that's even a bigger thing. So Tangle Wire and 3-ball. That's actually that actually works out in Pink Cow's favor pretty heavily there.
Yeah. So of note here, I wonder if Pink Cow is gonna remind Dalibor here if Dalibor is gonna just leave the creatures back because he doesn't have to tap anything. Or no, he still has to tap for Tangle Wire, but he doesn't have to pay extra for the spells. Never mind.
Yes. Rugger, to remember poly and mono artifacts. I totally agree.
Yeah.
some of y'all might not remember that moment, but I certainly do. Yes, all artifacts used to be turned off if they were tapped. Yes, and then they were printed. It is they only a certain ones actually have that text.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good point with Static Orb and Winter Orb. They only work whenever they're untapped. And hilariously, though, Trinisphere coming from Darksteel, which is 10 years into the game, still having that old templating on it.
Which is very, very cool. I think there's a lot of foreshadowing going on with that, too.
I think that's good, too, because Trinisphere would be broken as hell in these stack shells if it stopped or if it kept working when it was tapped.
I agree. I totally agree with you. When tapped creatures wouldn't deal damage when blocking. Yes, exactly. I remember that. I totally remember that. Oh, my lord.
Draw.
I'm old.
Choosing to tap the Urza Saga for turn, so there's going to be 1 less construct there. But I think in this case, though, in Dalibor's position here, you don't care about making any of the constructs. We do need to tick up the Saga, though.
So Wasteland takes out the other Saga. So when you attack with Trapper now, you take the Crucible, correct?
Or you take the construct so that way you don't lose the thing to combat damage.
Oh, that's true. That is true. Now that you have a construct, you kind of have to.
Yeah, because that construct's a 4/4, which
Yep.
will absolutely kill your Trapper. I'm pretty sure. Or is the Trapper a 5/5? I thought it was a 3/3 though.
Trapper's a 3/3, so it actually
okay.
would lose because it's a 4/4. Actually, they would trade because they would both be 3/3s.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because if you attack, destroy the Crucible, then yeah, it'd be down to 3. I would still absolutely make that trade in a second though.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you there.
Yeah, hits the Struck though, and I think that's actually fine because you're still crashing in for 6 here.
Yeah, that's big. That's a hell of a lot of play because Pain Cow is still stuck underneath the Tangle Wire as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Dalibor down or Pain Cow down to 8. That Ancient Tomb to make the construct. It's kind of rough.
Yeah, it actually is. Pain Cow's in a pretty precarious spot here.
Man, this Frenzied Trapper putting in work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm actually really impressed by the Frenzy Tracker.
Yeah. Which,
the Frenzy Trapper, I mean, although I will say this too, in another style deck, Frenzy Trapper may not be that great. But against Pain Cow's deck like this, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yes, against a mono artifact deck, like
especially with 3-ball out, absolutely, and the Tangle Wire, just because it makes it so it's very, very hard to actually turn it off.
Yeah. So more results in again. Rax defeated R the letter in order to take it down 2-0. Tensai defeats Frosty in 3.
Wow.
So mono black control still undefeated. With Frosty moving down to the lower bracket now.
Yep. Which we saw Frosty in round 1, if y'all were here.
Yep. Kara's still up 1 game over Quirios. That one's still going a while, which we all expected.
Yes, which will. Yep. So untap, taps the Cradle and the Saga.
Yeah. Of note, this saga's
Saga,
gonna
I will
sack an
still tick
upkeep
up.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fair. Draws. What do you get?
Here I think
You get
I
Pithing
would.
Needle?
Pardon?
Do you get Pithing Needle?
I would absolutely get Pithing Needle here.
Yeah. You could also
And
get Soul Guide Lantern and take off the Urza Sagas for good too.
that's true. Yeah, you could actually just go get Soul Guide Lantern.
Yeah. Because outside
Um,
of, I mean, if you go get Pithing Needle, what do you name? There's not.
so I'm not entirely sure. Actually, I think I see what's gonna happen here. I wonder if you
Oh,
grab
Shadow
Pithing Needle,
Spear.
if you grab Inventor's Fair right now. Because otherwise Paincal will just pay 4, sack the Inventor's Fair, go grab Ensnaring Bridge, and just go.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, Shadow Spear is in the deck, Melfi. If you want to see this, the deck list, Melfi, Cardboard Live is active on both sides as well. Plus, ! deck list will get you a link to the deck list as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That is very, very interesting. He's got a couple lines of play, Dalibor does.
Yeah.
However, activating in response still taxes his life-wise and has how many cards in hand? Two cards
Yeah,
in
the
hand.
other problem too is that you can also just pay 1 and sack the Trapper to blow up the bridge.
Yeah,
Like this
that is
Trapper's
true.
done so much damage already. If you can just cash it in for a bridge, you're fine.
It does still have that ability on its night side. You are
Yeah.
100% correct.
The fact that it doesn't lose that ability is wild.
Yeah, I honestly think I go get Soul Guide Lantern.
I think that's probably a good call, to be totally honest.
Yeah, being able to take Paincal off of the replaying the lands does get Pithing
Grabs
Needle. Okay.
Pithing Needle. Okay, and this is instant speed, so Paincal allowed the Saga to resolve, so he can't respond to this.
Yes.
So we'll see what the name is. And it sounds like Dalibor was asking about the text on Inventor's Fair, so we'll see how this goes. So he wrote what down? Yeah, Needle
on
names
Inventor's Fair. All right, so no more tutoring there.
Yep. Flagstones of Trocaire. Brutal.
Yep. I think this is going to be I think this is the turning point right here. This Frenzy Trap Breaker has just been an absolute house.
Yes, I agree. Absolute MVP.
Takes the Trinisphere.
Huh. I actually don't mind that because that unlocks Dalibor's hand right now.
Very true. Very true. Maybe as a crop rotation.
Could be. Well, he also has 3
songs?
mana up.
Abrupt Decay.
This could be an Abrupt Decay.
And say, I bet it is with what he just tapped. A Reclaimer. 2 Reclaimers. Hello.
Okay, so this is actually going to flip over the Frenzied Trap Breaker hilariously.
It is, but still has mana up to be able to use the day ability though.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. Painkal's down to 3 life.
Yeah, this is a really rough spot to be in, and not only that, but by flipping it over too, it means Bridge doesn't stop anything because all these creatures have low power now.
Yep.
Of note, hilariously though, both of these Reclaimers are already 3/4s. With 3 lands in the graveyard already. Yeah, and Tanglewire only having 1 counter on it now.
Wow. What do you even do at this point?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you just have to. I think you just have to scoop. Yeah, Wasteland Caracas.
It looks like there was an Ensnaring Bridge in hand. Oof.
But it honestly probably just wouldn't have been enough. However, there are enough lands in the graveyard that I think those Elvish Reclaimers were 3/4s already, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. But even then, the Trapper can still get under it.
Yeah.
Or even then, you just sacrifice it to blow up the bridge and just crash in for 9.
And yeah, there was nothing else they could do. Wow, that was a crazy turn of events.
Yeah.
Dalibor, Abzan Reclaimer just being able to just really body Paincal here in the stacks list, the gross stacks list. However, this Dalibor's Abzan Reclaimer list was a very set up well to be able to take care of the stack too.
Yes, exactly. And of note as well, just Dalibor further proving mastery over this archetype. He's been
Yes.
playing it nonstop for the past, like, I want to say 9 months. And, oh man, just absolutely crushing everything with it. So,
Yeah, there's so many micro decisions that you have to happen. We talk about how sequencing is very, very important. It's even more so in a deck like a Delabor's because not only are you sequencing lands, creatures, things like that, but you also have a lot of triggers you have to respond to very, very intelligently and sequence those as well. Dalibor is just a fantastic Reclaimer player, hands
yeah,
down.
exactly. And also, yeah, Oliver, good point there about
Yeah.
the Frenzy Trap Breaker. If you listen to the last podcast that went over this, oh man, Mike talked about that card and how high on it he was, and oh yeah,
Yeah,
I totally get it.
that I mean, yeah, that's insane. Just the fact that it keeps the ability when it flips as well. Um,
Super
it's
good.
like, yeah, it's super good. The fact that it becomes a 3/3 is fantastic. But
Yeah,
every attack, uh, yeah, that's insane. That's super good.
yeah.
So we're
So
gonna be
we're gonna
going over
switch over
to
to Querios and Care here.
yep,
So this is gonna be four color Brea control versus
yep,
Pokio Drift, as Care calls it,
Pokio
which
Drift.
is a four color flash deck.
Yep.
And oh my
And
goodness, it's
Kara's
so
been playing.
confusing. I love it.
Kara's played this previously. I've seen
Uh,
it on challenges or something similar to it. Am I
yeah,
correct?
quite possibly recently. This is a new variant of it that is almost mono green in terms of its blips on the cards.
Right.
But this is a deck that is built with Astral Drift to take advantage of Slowgurk the Overslime.
Okay. And Kara did win game 1. So this is game 2 and this is turn 7 as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to get everybody switched over here and get everybody straightened up. These players are going to get a 3-minute extension because we did have to interrupt their game to jump in.
Yeah. So it looks like 2 of the knights are activated and costs have been paid. And then the third knight is summoning 6 still.
Yep.
So it looks like that's about all we know at the moment. It looks like we have a Hull Breacher Snapcaster Mage, 2 copies of Baleful Strix on the other side, which are a very good blocker against Knight of the Reliquary.
And then
And
an
just
Saga with 1 token or 1
every
trait.
single color of dual land you can think of that doesn't produce green on Querios' side.
Care has 1 life. Or no. Care has 1. End of turn knight's been activated. Knight's 3 knight. Third knight is not activated. Quirios has 3 cards in hand. Care has 1. Life totals are 16 for Quirios and 19 for Care.
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful. Okay, looks like we are ready to go. So we're allowed to get back into here.
I love how Eternally Surprised says werewolf like wear tear. Oh,
those are the best
good.
types of typos, Oliver. Don't worry about it.
Yep. Oh, that's insane. This so this for you guys, hopefully the Cardboard Live is active for you guys as well.
Cradle.
If it's not, it is a cradle. If it's not activated, you guys can ! deck lists and you can see these deck lists as well. This is Care and Quirios. So Quirios has been on this 4-color Brea control deck for quite a while. Actually, it's changed a little bit as it's gone through. It's gotten things like expressive iteration, but I think Quirios has been on this for the better part of a year. Am I correct on that one?
Yeah, at least Querios I know played it in the last invitational, if not last 2 invitationals.
I think it was.
Yeah, and has absolutely been cleaning up with it. The win rate with this deck is nuts.
Even one of my local players, when they jumped into Legacy, this was one of the first decks that they grabbed because they're an EDH player and they saw Brea and thought, this is cool as crap. I want to play this. So I actually have gotten to play it not only in the Discord, but also locally as well. So there's a lot of interest. This is a very, very like grind you into dust control deck with a lot of finishing power.
You want to talk about a game with a deck with a good attrition game? Oh, look no further.
Yes, this 4-color Brea control deck is insane.
It grinds like no other.
Yes, yep, absolutely. So let's see.
Yeah, and Malfi, that is a good point. It's a very hard deck to play with or against. Collector Oof.
I totally agree. There are so many different things that you have to worry about. So many things.
Okay, so Collector Oof isn't super relevant now. However, of note, there are only 2 artifacts in this list that are Urza Saga can actually get on Quirios' side, which are
Yeah.
both Retrofitter Foundries.
Yes, and those are 100% how this deck actually puts out and is able to grind so well, is the fact that with the 2 Retrofitter Foundries, the rest of the deck does its thing while the Retrofitter Foundries just sit back and create the board state that you can't deal with anymore.
Yeah. Malfi, the land next to Gaia's Cradle is Drownyard Temple, which is immediately being sacrificed, and then you can just pay 3 mana and return it to the battlefield, which is super sweet.
It actually does shut off Brea also. She is an artifact creature.
That is true. Brea also does get shut off.
Yeah, so not only does she make tokens when she enters the battlefield, however, her ability to be able to sacrifice those artifacts and utilize those things you're making with your Retrofitter Foundry or her own tokens themselves is now completely shut off.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was a fantastic card to bring in here. Brea is the power of this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Brea
or
brings
the grind power, for sure.
the grind power. Yes, Brea is what makes that all happen. The rest of this deck is very much like a Grixis type control deck, but yeah, it's pretty awesome. And am I right? Wasn't this list a Grixis list before it brought in the White Splash?
I know he was pretty big on Grixis control, but Quirios actually, when he first started on our server, was a huge Esper Ninjas player, specifically Esper Ninjas.
It was Esper Ninjas. You are correct.
Yeah. So I think it's an evolution of Esper Ninjas to Esper control, and then adding the Red Splash for Brea because of how well Brea plays with Baleful Strix and Retrofitter Foundry.
Yeah, his pace of play has always been impressive. I agree, Oliver.
Yeah.
Quirios plays locally at my store, even though the deck is grindy. He's notably one of the only control players that actually finishes his games in time, unlike the ban control players. That doesn't surprise me at all. Quirios is very, very intentional, methodical, and very, very good.
Yeah.
And
very fast as well.
Yes, always plays like at least 2 turns ahead. So always knows exactly what they want to be doing.
Yeah. And even then, if you do go in the tank, you go in the tank for 10, 15 seconds, boom, 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 turns over.
Yeah, turns over, go. Yeah, this is a lot of ramping.
Names ooze off of this Cavernous Souls. Oh, right. I was going to say that's probably a scavenging ooze, but then I also remembered that's Slogurk the Overslime, which I believe I see 2 copies of Tranquil Thicket in Care's Graveyard.
Yes. Yes. So Slogurk the Overslime is a really interesting card. So whenever a land card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, you put a +1/+1 counter on Slogurk the Overslime. You remove 3 +1/+1 counters from Slogurk, and you return it to its owner's hand. And then when he leaves the battlefield, you return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand. So not only is it become a big beater, but it also is a ton of value. Also has trample as well. So he's a big boy.
Yeah. Looks like we had a Vanishing Verse on the Collector Oof there.
Okay. Which makes a lot of sense. If you're ready, if you're poised and ready to put your grind into play or put your grind plan to work, that Collector Oof just shuts you completely down.
Yeah.
Although Quirios has got an amazing board state here. Pretty much locked everything down behind these Baleful Strix.
Yeah.
Baleful Strix is still
the lock on one of the knights.
Yep.
Gross.
Baleful Strix is still a fantastic card.
Yeah.
Looks like it's returning Drownyard to play.
Drownyard Temple for 3. Yeah. Which is just really good because it gives you a free sacrifice with the knights every turn.
Yep. Exactly. Malfi says hit the verse, got me with that too.
Yeah. Of note, though, the one thing that does suck here is the fact that cycling with the Tranquil Thickets, in the event that we do get the Astral Drift engine online, yes, Hovercraft, that is an arbor there. Yep. If we do get the Astral Drift engine online, is that the Hull Breacher will stop Care from actually drawing cards when he cycles.
Correct, because that is actually just a straight up replacement effect. Or a straight up draw, I should say. So that's kind of unfortunate. However, I think is that the least of his worries right now? Maybe. Green Sun Zenith for 3.
Green Sun Zenith X is 3. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, moving the Dryad Arbor up with the creatures. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Dr. Leo for table spotting this round.
It looks like Green Sun Zenith is going to resolve here.
Yeah.
What is he?
Ooh.
Dryad.
Ooh.
Okay. Now
Uh,
now as every type of mana that they would ever want.
there are Valakits in this list, and there's
Yes,
two
there
Knights
are.
online.
Yes, there are.
Ooh. Ooh,
This literally
baby.
just there's
Ooh,
there's
baby.
there's a Valakut. I guarantee
Yeah.
you Drying Yard's going to get a
Sack
Valakut right
Drownyard
now.
Temple. Grab Valakit. Replay or pay tap Cradle for a bunch of mana. Return Drownyard Temple. Trigger Valakit.
Yep.
Crack it again with the Knight of the Reliquary. Ooh, gets Misty Rainforest here.
Really?
Interesting.
Really?
Huh.
Atero says this deck is utter nonsense, and I love it.
Yeah.
It is. This play, you know what? This plays so much like an EDH deck. It's kind of hilarious, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, looks like the Valakit's already in play.
Oh,
Oh, that's
oh
what the card
Lord.
behind the Yavimaya is. Oh,
Oh Lord. Okay, so there's triggers going on here. I totally missed that.
oof.
I thought that was a mountain.
Yeah. Oof. OUPHE. Oof.
Yes. Is he just dead here? He's got a fetch land.
Which he already fetched once, so that should be 6 more damage.
Yep.
Targets Quirios with all of these triggers.
Cradle, sacrifice, Drown Yard back.
Yeah. Bring Drownyard back, deal 3. Sacrifice the Drownyard. Right, so 3 more. This will
Yep.
put Quirios at 6. You
Yep.
activate the Knight, sack
Knight.
it again, go grab another fetch land, put you to 3, crack the fetch land, put you to 0.
Yep.
And Quirio's actually making him go through the motions here, which is cool. So
Which is absolutely cool. I totally agree with you there.
yeah.
Wow. That's super
What
cool.
a
That's super
wild
cool.
game. And Care's gonna actually take that in 2.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So able to get under that Brea control deck, the insane amount of value with the Pokio Astral Drift deck. That's very, very cool.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Wow.
very good. So that's 2-0. So do we have any other matches that are up right now?
Let's take a look here.
So we know Rax has already taken it.
I think that was our last match, actually.
Really?
I think. Yeah,
it looks like
confirmed by Chaotic Bear. That was the last match there. So it looks like we're going to have a short little break to give the players some stuff there while we get prepped up for the next round.
Yeah.
And it was great commentating with you again, Beyond Statistic. Thank
Yeah.
you, everybody, for joining us here today. It's been great fun. We got a whole bunch more Legacy planned for you guys. Stick around for that. And I will be back later today.
Yeah, same. You guys are going to have new commentators next round. So
Yeah.
who is commentating next round?
I believe it'll be Doc and Oliver next. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually is going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will see you guys back for round number 3. Thank you guys so much. The players, like we said, are going to get a 10-minute break. So
Yep. Thank you. See you then.
yep.
We good?